Good evening. Good evening. Thank you once again for joining us for an amazing Blab series that we've been having for the past week on breaking a cycle of brokenness. And it's interesting because every time I think about and hear the stories that's been presented so far, I think about the prayer that started this whole process so I won't have to experience and have my children go through the things that I experienced in my upbringing. And so this is not about me, it's about empowering other people around the world. And I'm so grateful for the people that have reached out to me thus far and to be able to be unapologetic to share their story as well, because again, we never know who needs to hear something that's going to be able to let them know that they are not alone in the journey, that the pain or whatever that they're experiencing, but somebody who was bold enough to be able to share their message. And today, I am looking forward to this message of forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is huge. And a lot of times we go through so many things in our life and we fail to realize that the forgiveness is not for the other person. It's really for you. And so with that being said, I thank you so much, Keshay, for just opening up your heart to be able to share with other people and just to be able to be on the same platform with me, and so we could be able to touch more people around the world. So I know we worked in the past before, but my goodness, there's many more of this going on, and I'm looking forward to many more. So with that being said, I'm done. I'm going to turn it over to you. Keshay, please tell the people about your message of forgiveness and how did you come up with this title for tonight of forgiving your way to a better you. That is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely it is, because forgiveness is for you more so than the other person. And well, my name is Keshay Blount. I am the creator of the Me First Mommy program. I am a lifestyle coach, and I basically help moms pursue their dreams, rediscover themselves, and just create more time for themselves and while still being great moms. And the way I came up with the forgiveness is because actually when you called me about this, I think it was 2 days before you called me, I was creating my Rediscover You 3-day coaching program for moms. And as I was creating the program, I always start off with the mindset in all my programs because I think mindset is key in everything. But then, good evening, Yvette. And then I realized that even before the mindset, there's a process that us women have to go through even before we get there, because I feel like as women, we're very emotional. We hear that a lot, but we carry a lot of baggage around with us. You know, past experiences in our lives are basically what creates the mindsets that we have right now, different experiences and things that we went through in life. And like I said, holding on to things, being hurt by others, and not being able to forgive others, and also not being able to forgive ourselves for a lot of bad decisions that we've made in the past. So once we can get on the road to forgiveness, we can actually take a huge emotional weight off of ourselves. Yeah. So that we can begin on the path to the mindset and to creating this life that we all dream of for ourselves. And we can't do that without letting go of all that emotional baggage that we have. Mm-hmm. And just going back to why you created this series, the prayer that you had for your children, and this story that you wanted to give to your children so that they won't create the same mistakes that you've made and they can learn from what you went through. We basically have to, our children are watching us. So we have to also do it for them as well. We have to forgive and get ourselves in a certain space, not just for us, but also for our children, because they're either going to do two things. They're going to follow the same path that we're showing them, or they're going to make a decision to go the opposite way and do something better for themselves. And I just want to start my message by sharing my story. The only way I know how to teach is by basically sharing my story. I think people can relate best to sharing your story. We actually did a blab before about the power of sharing your story. And I think that sharing your story is very powerful. And I think that my openness today on this series may help to inspire another woman, or maybe some things that I've been through in my life, someone may have been through the same things in theirs. So a bit about me is I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. I grew up with in a single parent home, both my mom and my sister. That's it. And my mother really struggled to raise us as a single parent. She had her struggles. She had, her demons and things like that she had to deal with. But I remember multiple times us not knowing where we're going to lay our heads at night. My mom, I remember one point we really finally had that family structure. One point she had a boyfriend. We were with him for a couple of years. We were able to have Christmases and our Easters, and it seemed like finally we had a functional family, something normal. And then at one point, I remember 2:00 in the morning, they got into an argument, and he kicked us out on the streets 2:00 in the morning. We had no place to stay. So it's no more, our room with our bunk beds, which was like amazing to us because we didn't have that before. That family structure was at that point gone. I remember walking down the street with my mom and my sister late at night. We didn't know where we were going to lay our heads. We walked into a shelter and they wanted us to lay on these hard cots. And my sister previously was in a car accident and she had a bad back. So my mother said, no, my daughter can't lay on this cot. And we walked out of the shelter and we ended up staying with my mother's mom. So there was a couple of times we went through the situation of homelessness. I remember we lived in the YWCA where we slept was the same size as a jail cell. The only thing that was in the room were 2 bunk beds and a desk. No bathroom. The only bathroom we can use is one public bathroom on the floor. That's where you went to the bathroom. That's where you took your showers. And we lived here for months until my mother got into a fight with one of the other residents and we got kicked out from there. So finally, my mother got herself together and we had an apartment and we were staying in the apartment. And I just fell under a deep depression around the age of 11 years old. I felt like the black sheep of my family, feeling like I basically didn't belong. My sister and I, we fought a lot. My mother had a drug addiction. I began cutting school just to stay home and watch my mother to make sure that she didn't do anything that she wasn't supposed to. And even at one point, like I said, when I was 11, I took pills that were on my mother's dresser. And wow. I tried to kill myself. And my mother didn't know that I took the pills. One day I wrote her a long letter telling her what I did. And I gave her the letter and she never responded to the letter. But I know now that that was her addiction. And it wasn't until I started my business that I realized. I talked to my mother. I was doing a little bit of researching and I was asking her, is there any dreams or aspirations that you have for yourself that maybe you couldn't pursue because you had children? And she began telling me the stories about her life, things that she went through in her childhood and how her mom wasn't completely there for her as well. And then I realized that my mother wasn't equipped to give me what I needed. And a lot of times the people who hurt us in our lives, they're only doing what they know how to do, and sometimes we just have to forgive that. We don't have to understand it to forgive, right. But I had to understand that my mom was raised a certain way and she raised me the way that she was raised. And I had a choice to either raise my children that way or raise them a different way. And another part of my story is I ended up at 15 years old having my first child, my daughter Naomi. And the weird thing is that I wanted to have a baby at 14. I told my then boyfriend I want to have a baby. And I realize now that I wanted to have that baby because I wanted someone to love me the way that I felt like I deserved to be loved, number one. And number two, I wanted to prove that I can love my child better than I was being loved, that I can raise my child better than I was being raised. So I had my daughter at 15 years old. And to make a speed up the story about my life is now 34 years old, have 4 children. I'm married now, and I was able to move my children out of the hood, so to speak, into suburban America. I have 2 businesses of my own, and I've came out of all of that. And the first thing I had to do that was to forgive my mom, for not being there for me when I needed her to be there for me. I had to forgive my father because my father was locked up half of my childhood life. I had to forgive him for that. And I had to forgive myself because I played a victim to a lot of things that happened in my life. And I think that's another thing that we need to stop doing is playing a victim. We get hurt. Someone hurts us and we immediately start thinking about what they did to us and what everybody else did to us. Yep. And we just play the victim. But we have more control over our life and how people treat us than we think that we do. So I had to sit back and say, okay, what is it about me that has these people thinking that they can lie to me or portray me in this type of way? And I think in every situation, you have to be able to look at yourself and say, okay, am I doing something wrong? And not always am I doing something wrong, but also what lesson can I get out of this experience? And I believe that life is just a huge university. Everything that happens to us, and there's a lesson. And just going back to the first steps that we have to take to begin living the lives that we want to live for ourselves is that we have to become clear on what our core values are in life. Yeah. That's something that I needed to do because I didn't have women in my life that could help guide me or teach me how to be a woman or teach me how to be a mom or teach me how to be a wife. Those are the things that I had to learn on my own. Yeah. So I had to decide, okay, how am I going to feel? What are my core values are going to be on finances? What are my core values are going to be on my relationships? What are my core values are going to be on career and everything else? Because when you're not sure or committed to your core values, anyone can come to you and give you your opinion about something, and then your beliefs start to sway this way and then that way, and then you're confused and you're just going with the Joneses, what everybody else is doing. I remember one thing, for example, that I had a hard time with in relationships was infidelity. And like I said, I'm pretty open. I'm just going to share. With infidelity is because people would tell me, and I would hear this from mature older women, a man is going to be a man. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. A man is going to cheat. And all these things that I was being told, I didn't feel it to be true in my heart and in my spirit. And then I would turn the radio on and all I would hear is about infidelity. I would hear songs about this one cheating on that one. And I said, you know what? I have to sit down, ask myself some tough questions and commit to how I'm going to feel about this subject. Forget how everybody else feels about men and relationships and everything else. What are my beliefs on this subject? And I had to commit to what I felt was true in my heart, so that no one else can tell me different. So guess what? If this person can't be faithful, I'll find one who can. It's out there. And it's the same with everything in our lives, whether it's finances or career-wise or anything else. And I tell the moms that I work with, a lot of them want to find some source of income and things like that. And I always say, I think you should start with something that you're passionate about, something that you believe in, so that it doesn't feel like it's work. And a lot of people will beat us up because we want to do something other than what they think that we should be doing.
Absolutely.
No, and it's not about them. Exactly.
It's not about them.
It's not about them. It has.
You know, one thing I wanted to share. I want to say something about you that that really got me when I first asked you, did you want to be involved? And before I could just say the last word, do you? Hell yeah, was your response.
Yes.
And it was like there's no extra question or nothing. Hell yeah. And that's one thing that I really, really love, because I know we made a connection because we had worked together before on sharing blab and having a telesummit and everything. But this is the thing. The things that you're talking about is it just gives me more and more of confirmation that more and more people need to know of the book, the prayer that I started, right? Because of some of the things that you experienced, I experienced too. But just imagine that you're not sharing your story, I'm not sharing my story. How many more people out there are going through the same thing, and somebody was not there for them? Somebody did not encourage them. Somebody not let them know that their pain is not in vain. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So they're going to continue to just go along with this cycle, making bad decisions, being a victim, having a pity party, and then next you know they continue on with this repetitive cycle of dysfunction. And now you turn around and now you want to have a family to be able to fix you when you're not willing to fix yourself. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
Exactly. And that's somewhat what I did, having a baby at 15 years old, thinking that was going to fix things, but that wasn't the answer to fixing anything.
No, at all. I had my baby at 16. And see, the thing is, it wasn't taught in our home, but I was a mom before I was a mom to my brother and sister, who were 12 and 13 years apart. So I had to play this role of being their parent, and I didn't get a chance to be a teenager. And then at the same time, I wasn't educated, because we have to be educated at home. It starts at home, not on the streets. And so with me not being educated, the first thing people say, oh, she's fast. That's not necessarily true. Find out why did this take place in this baby's life. You know what I mean? Educate them, love on them, pray on them, encourage them that this right here, this decision that you have made is not going to be the end of you. It's going to slow you down, because now it's not about you. It's about this other child, this other one that needs you. And since you already know that same hurt and pain, you do not want to transfer that pain onto your children. And that's what I prayed about, because I see myself going down this repetitive cycle, and I'm thinking back, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm making these decisions. And I look back at my children, and my children, I look at the face that I was looking at when I was looking at both of my parents, like, what the heck did you guys do to us? You know what I mean? You done passed on your so much toxic, so much bitterness, so much hatred, so much of everything else but the things that you should have been instilling in us. You was too busy trying to find yourself, and we got lost along the way. And now here we are picking up the pieces that you should have been giving us long ago, and you choose not to do that for whatever reason. And then you go along with this, and I can't stand this. I'm sorry, people may not agree. This is all they know. This is all you may know, but you know this is all that you do know. That hurt right there. I don't like the way that feels. So you telling me, because this is all you know, this is all you're not willing to be open enough to be able to connect with somebody, learn how to do something different, so your children don't feel that same pain? Is that what you're just telling me? You know what I mean? Our children don't deserve that. They don't. These are the same children that we're supposed to mold for the real world. So what are we teaching them? If we're not training up these children the way they want us to, we want them to take care of us, because they're going to need to take care of us at the end of the day. So you telling us to just do them any kind of way, give them bare minimum, don't teach them nothing, don't give them no foundation, don't plant no seeds, don't do any of that. And now here you wonder why your children jacked up and why they're not there for you. Let's be real with it.
Absolutely.
And so now, when I look at my children right now, I was determined to break that cycle. I don't want to be what you thought I should be. I don't want to be every name in a book that you called me. I don't want to be that person, because that's not me. But I know there's something greater in me, and I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to allow myself to be broken so I can be blessed, because you broke me down so much, but I don't want to continue to be broken. I don't want to continue for you to point the finger at me, and then that, you know, my kids continue to suffer. So if I continue to give you my power that I really have, then what do I have to give to my children? So I have to go ahead and do the work on myself. And I was willing to do my work. So I was willing, just like you, to be that black sheep. And right now, to this day, when I look at my parents, they just looking back at me like, okay, what do I do now? No, you done instilled so much mess. And now when the mess hit the fan, you calling me. But remember, I wasn't nothing. I was never supposed to be nothing. But while I fell on my butt, I was not laid out. Like I was laid off, I wasn't laid out. I was put out, but you know what I mean? He did not give up on me. All he did is go hold me tighter. I'm just saying.
Preach.
So and it just gives me that confirmation that when this prayer that came about turned into a book, I just was like, really? I never thought it would go to this whole nother level. And now here it is, a blabsters, because there's so much people who felt that pain, felt that hurt, who's lost out there, who's trying to find themselves, got questions, don't have no answers, but just to know that there's somebody around that can be able to wrap their arms around you and let you know that you are not alone. And that's what this whole movement is about. And it's just like, my Lord, I thank him. I thank him for not giving up on me. And so while we're going through so much pain, and while we're going through so much questions that we have in this thing called life, we have to understand. I just wrote this down today, which is crazy, Lord Jesus. Those words become sentences. Those sentences become paragraphs. Those paragraphs become chapters. And are you willing to write the chapters of your life, or are you going to continue to just go along with every single day and then say, pity me? Are you learning the lessons in those chapters? You know what I mean? Because those are wisdom. That pain is some wisdom for your butt. You know what I'm saying? We always tell our children, you need to sit down somewhere and get some wisdom. But grown folks need to sit down somewhere and stop having this pity party and get them some wisdom too. You know what I mean? And that was me. You know, just like you said, you was going around, I'm the victim. I remember one of my good friends, she said, Vanessa, you need to learn how to forgive. Forgive, girl, let me tell you. And the first thing that comes to mind, do you know what she did to me? Do you know what they said to me? No, that's the first thing that we think about. And we talking about them.
Right.
But what about us?
Right. We feel like we letting them off the hook. If we
exactly
them, we're just letting them get away with it. But that's not the case. And a lot of times we're killing ourselves, stressing ourselves out over what somebody else did to us. But then when you look down the street and you see them, they're laughing, they're having a good time. They're not thinking about us.
No, hurt people hurt other people.
Yeah, you sitting there holding that grudge and all that stress. And that person's not thinking about what they did to you. So when you forgive for you. Forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. It has nothing to do with the other person.
Come on,
you don't even need them to apologize. I don't need your apology.
Nope, not at all. You know, I wrote in one of the chapters of my book called Dear You. And Dear You, it was weird because I always ask God, give me the words. I don't know the words. I don't know the message. I'm not a writer. I just know that I have a powerful mess of a message, right? And so I remember I was doing something, and this Dear You, and just started telling me, like writing a letter to myself, and I was like, what? I'm done writing this. What are you talking about? And just kept coming. And when that's the thing, growth, you paying attention now, right? And so I'm the type of person I know to sit still and pay attention. And so I started writing. Did not realize that Dear You letter that I was writing, I looked back and I was like, oh my goodness. And it's talking about basically how so many people point their finger at you. You are you. And these are the same people that's supposed to be in that village for you. These are the same people that you thought would be in your corner when nobody else was in your corner fighting for you. Those same people that should have been praying for you when they didn't even know when to start, how to start, or should they start to pray for you. The same people that should have been lifting you up when you was falling so far. When those same people, you know what I mean? So these people that are supposed to have been there wasn't there, but that Dear You was like you. But they come back into your life as it happened. I'm like, really? So as I was writing this, it was interesting because I was going down, honey, you never know how much you got into you until you allow yourself to be tested on a whole nother level. And I was, it's like I was going through a test at that very moment, because at that very moment, somebody was testing the heck out of me, and I was praying for them. I didn't call and just back, do the same thing they was doing because I'm a grown.
Right.
Grown folks don't play that game, that teenage game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm praying for you because I know when it's all said and done, you got to deal with somebody higher than me. So I'm going to go ahead and pray for you and your foolishness, and I'm going to go over here and sit down somewhere. But all along, the Lord said, okay, I got something for you to say. And so while that dear you and that pointing you and everything else, the dear you turns out to be a letter. The person asking me like, well, what have you been doing all your life? I'm like, what I've been doing all my life? What you mean what I've been doing all my life? Oh, now you want to come around, you want to know what I've been doing, but you should have been here so you could know what I'm doing. But I'm just saying. So I turned around and I wound up writing this letter, and it was like I was asking all these questions and the crazy thing in there, right? But then the crazy part, I flipped it at the end, and I didn't even know. I thought I was done writing this whole chapter. But I flipped it around. Well, I didn't flip it around. He flipped it around. And he was like, instead of you asking me what I've been doing all my life, you should have been asking me, do I forgive you?
Wow.
We got to be real clear with this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about them. It's so much not about them.
Mm-hmm.
We giving them everything. But while they're going on to the next person to hurt the next person and looking back at you like, damn, I still got them hurt over here. And so I'm on a mission, on a hurt mission. A hurt mission. Some people are just in the business of hurting other people. So are you going to get in line and get in tune and get on their train on being hurt so you get to your destination of hurt land? Or are you going to say, you know what, you hurt me enough. More than enough, but I'm going to go ahead and take back my power. So you going over there where you belong because I got things over here to do. Mm-hmm. When you know yourself, you know your worth.
Absolutely. And you can't get to that better you until you do that first. You have to do the work first. And a lot of times we sit down and we're wondering why things are not happening for us, why we keep trying and nothing is happening, because you got to deal with that first. And there's a lesson somewhere that you haven't learned yet. Yep. So that's why I say
that's why you keep banging that head.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. You're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over again, having the same situation, same circumstances, and then you have those people who are always wondering why, oh, this is always happening to me. It's always me. Like someone's out to get them. Yeah, no. You have to get that lesson that God is trying to give you so he can give you something better. But he can't give you nothing. He can't give you better. He can't give you better because you're not ready yet. You got to get ready. Exactly. He's trying to get you ready.
And that's what I say to people all the time. So many times they want to pick and choose what they want to be broken from. And they want to pick and choose what they want to be blessed with. Mm-hmm. It don't work that way. Either you're going to allow yourself to be broken so you could be blessed and go sit down somewhere. You know what I mean? And you wonder why you keep making these same mistakes. You keep running into these same broken relationships because you're too busy trying to have somebody fix you when you can't even fix yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I wrote a chapter about that too. Would you date you? I'm just saying. We don't. We just don't do that. Why don't we do that? Because we too busy. We are too busy over here trying to have somebody else fix us. We want somebody to fix us. We broken. But you're not willing to mend your own self. You're not willing to get in alignment so you could be able to say, you know what? I've done the work. You can't talk about something that you haven't been through.
Right.
I'm just saying. You can't talk about it. You can't tell. Exactly. It's like me telling you, girl, you in that messed up relationship. But every relationship that I've been in has all been messed up. But I'm going to try to tell you because I'm miserable over here. I want you to be miserable right along with me. And now you're going to jump the bandwagon of being on miserable land. What is wrong with that picture? So you have to be willing to do the work on yourself. And you have to take back, even though your parents done did some crazy things, they going to have to deal and answer with God at the end of the day. You have to go ahead and live your life, your best life, the greater life that you know that's within you, and be willing to do the work. Surround yourself around some people that's going to support you, because let's truth be told, you'll get way more support from people that's not even in your bloodline.
Absolutely.
Come on, that's not even in your bloodline, and they'll rally around you like no tomorrow. Because when I lost my job, I damn near lost everything. And I had people laughing. I had people stab me in my back. And those are the same fools that I was around. But I said, you know what, Lord? It hurts. It does. But I need you to go ahead and reveal and remove the people that don't need to be in my life, because this right here, this journey that I'm on, I have to understand and I have to accept the fact. I love you. I love you from a distance. However, this right here, your stop ends now. I'm not going to go along and continue on this hate train, because I've done that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go along. It is. It's too much of my. I got too much to give, too much to offer to be playing these games with you. You want to play games? Go get your butt in the sandbox. I don't have time for that. I got things to do. There's people that needs to hear our messages, and so this is what we're on. So now here I am with all these amazing things that I have going on. Who's calling me now? And that's why I got that number change. Because I don't have time for it. I have no time for it. That's what they will do. They will stab you in the back. They'll talk about you. They'll belittle you as if you're that little girl. But when you know who you are, when you know your worth, you could just learn how to just cut the umbilical cord and say, I love you dearly, but I love me more. And we have to be okay with that, because they say family is family. I'll wait. I'll wait.
Oh, gosh.
I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? My family is my children. I'm not trying to be funny. I had to figure this thing out on my own, just like you had to figure out, like, wait a minute, I don't want this. I know you did whatever you had to do over there, mama, but right now that hurt me. And I'm not trying to repeat that same cycle with my babies over here. So I need to go over here and work on me so I could be a better me, a better mother, a better wife, and a better friend. You see what I'm saying?
I think
I want to do that work.
I think it's also important to share with your children as soon as they're old enough to understand your story and a lot of things that you went through in your past in your life. I had to sit down with my children and tell them about my mom, my dad, and a lot of things that went on in my life. And that's why I'm so self-motivated right now. And I'm raising my children to be the same way. Now they're watching me make all of these accomplishments. So now they have no excuse when it comes to their education and things that they want to do, their dreams and their aspirations. They have no excuse because they're watching me. And I'm leading by example. The same way if I wasn't doing it, if I was walking around frustrated and annoyed and aggravated all the time, they sense that, they will know that as well. Yep. So you got to get you right. You have to get you right so that you can be a better mom to your children. And that's totally agree. That's something that's what my business is based on for the most part, is being a better you so that you can be a better mom to your children. And just because you have children, it doesn't mean that your dreams stop or your aspirations and everything has to stop. No, they can continue. You can still live a full life and still be a great mom at the same time. And share your goals. Share your goals with your children as well. They become inspired. Then they want to know what's going on. They become interested in everything that you're doing.
Oh my God, that is so true. My oldest one read the book that's coming out, Breaking the Cycle of Brokenness, right? And she said, what? Wait a minute, Mom, huh? I didn't tell my children every single solitary thing that I experienced. You know what I mean? I tell them the main parts, but I didn't go so deep. It was just like, I was so focused on making sure I'm molding you for the real world. Period. You know what I mean? There's always going to be a time and a place where we could go there. But this book that I've been holding on for so long, it's just like it's time to let it go. I walked in my truth. I own my truth. And now I need to be able to share with other people, because so many people are just like, dang, Vanessa, we waiting on this book. I'm just saying. But it's me being an introvert. I am so introvert. The spotlight, Jesus fix it. I'm just saying. The spotlight, I know that my life has totally changed and it's going to a whole nother level now. And the spotlight being on an introvert is totally different than someone who is they don't have these issues. I do, but I understand that that's what come along with this amazing book that I'm doing. All the things, this is absolutely amazing, all the things that I'm doing in my life. But this is one thing that I want people to understand, is that we all have a message inside of us.
Right.
Every last person has a message inside of them. But it goes along with you doing the work inside of you. You know what I mean? It's internal. You can't cover it up with no makeup. When I get on these blab series, I get on these blab series naked. Like no makeup, no, I don't, cause I want you to see me. I'm not gonna cover it up with all this crap on my face. And you was like, well,
I gotta give you props for that.
You know what I mean? I want you to see me as the person that I'm coming in here naked. I am letting you in, giving you a piece of something that helped me to overcome so much brokenness that I had in me. So you too be able to break that own cycle in your life, in your children's life, in the next generation. Because if you look at what's going on, I'm in Chicago. It's nothing pretty in Chicago. Nothing pretty in Chicago. These kids are killing each other. That's our generation. So what? So then what? You know what I'm saying? Then what? So I have to be unapologetically bold enough to say, look, yeah, this is my story. I'm not going to be the person to say, let's brush it up under the rug. And that's one thing I talk about in the book. People love to brush. You know how people say, don't tell nobody that. That's whatever goes on in our house, stay in this house.
Yes. That's how we were raised.
Right. We raised that way. But we raised that way, and now we're showing up in our adult life, and we wonder why we're going through hell and high water, and wonder, you know what I mean? We're trying to clean this pain up because you told us not to share. You told us that didn't happen. You told us this. You know what I mean? Some things you have to be able to say, look, I need to get this off of me because this right now is so bad, but you're not willing to listen to me. So I'm going to go and tell it to the next person. But that next person was bold enough to come and tell you, and now you mad at me because I didn't tell you, but you told me that, oh, don't say nothing. We gotta stop doing that because then we giving our children the impression we've really been hypocrites. Oh, you always come to us, but only come to us for certain things. That's not fair. Mm-hmm. You know, they go through things just like we do.
We women hold so much inside. We don't go to anyone else for help. We just hold it in and think something is going to change. A lot of us feel like we don't have anyone to talk to because we don't want our business out there. We don't know who to talk to.
Exactly.
You know, I don't care if you have to hire a therapist and sit down in front of someone holding a notepad and just to have someone to talk to and to let it out, do that. Or to journal, do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to see a therapist. Sometimes you just need somebody who doesn't know you to talk to you, or someone that's far removed from the situation that you can talk to, just to get some feedback, just to know that you're not going crazy. Because sometimes we just need somebody to tell us that we're not going crazy.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. And you know, I used to write, and I never thought nothing spectacular about it. When I'm going through so much, I write, and when I write, it was starting to turn into like poems and stuff, and I was like, oh, what the heck is this? And I was just keeping it just write and just write and just write. But the older I've become, the more my children are growing. I'm going through some extra stuff now. And I just kept writing, and it just become more and more of therapy. It was so much therapy in there. It wasn't even funny because I was releasing this pain that's in me. I can't go and call my mom and then turn around. I know what I'm dealing with. That's got to be real with it here. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm dealing with. If I'm calling this woman, you know what I mean? You playing reverse psychology. And I tell people all the time, now that I know who I am, let's be real with it. Mm-hmm. You cannot play reverse psychology with a psychologist. You don't do it. Don't play this game with me, you know, as if it's me. And that's what a lot of people love to do. They want to reverse it off on you. Now, what did you do? What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was writing. It was therapy for me, and it helped. It helped me a lot. And I never understood that was really helping me, but I just kept doing it, and I just kept doing it. And even when it came down to writing this book, I just was writing things. And it was after the death of my brother. I never knew that I was going to be doing this book and releasing this book or anything. But it helped me so much to get everything off of me. And it just revealed all the things that we went through in our childhood. I'm like, dag, really? Mm-hmm. And so now it's like the time I have to be able to release this book to be able to say, you know what? I've come a long way. You know what I mean? How many more people need to know that they can too? You come from the hood, and you could, and just know that you are the White House worthy. Not trying to be funny, but you are White House worthy,
Right.
right? Just like Barack, he had to go through everything. He started from the ground and he worked his way up. That does not only apply in life, it applies in life, success, business, relationships. You have to be willing to do the groundwork no matter where you come from, and then get to the, take those steps. You got to put one foot in front of the other so you could be able to do your work, your best work on yourself, so you can live a better life and not have to worry about the shoulda, the coulda, and a woulda. You get your shoulda, coulda right. You can't worry about they shoulda, coulda, woulda. You worry about your own. And so when you're working on yourself, you could be able, your children look back on you and say, dang, Mommy, I am so blessed. I don't know who wrote that. I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. I am so glad I don't look like what I've been through. You see what I'm saying? When Marvin Sapp wrote the song, what he say? I would have never made it. I would never made it. If you hear the words, I would have never made it. You know what I'm saying? If I would never made it without you. When parents don't turn their back on me, when everybody else turned their back on me, you still stayed with me. When I was going through hell, you still let me know there was a rainbow on the other side. When I couldn't even see the light, you shine through. You peeped your way through. You know what I'm saying? So I could have never made it if I didn't hold on to your unchanging hand. You stayed with me when I made the wrong decision, but you still said, you're going to come on back. So I have to go and do the work and plant those seeds for my own children. I had to be able to set that foundation that I didn't even have. Whew, I'm going to stop.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Someone said, I got to learn me all over again. And that's powerful as well. Absolutely. If you just sit down with yourself, by yourself, and ask yourself some serious questions, and give yourself some honest answers, and learn what your core values are going to be.
Absolutely.
On every step that you can possibly think of. You just spend some more time with yourself. And like you said, dating yourself. Date yourself. Get to know yourself better.
Date yourself.
Work on getting to learn who you are and what your best qualities are. The things that you love to do.
Yes.
Because
what is it?
A lot of times what do you love to do? A lot of times we wait on other people to make us happy, and we think we're going to find happiness out of other people or other things. But we can only make us happy. It's nobody's responsibility but ours to make us happy. So now you need to start on your journey of what you need to make yourself happy. And once I started spending time with myself, I found I'm pretty funny. I think I'm a pretty funny person. So I'm by myself sometimes, cracking myself up.
Yes.
I'm in a car driving, and these crazy thoughts just come in my head, and I'm laughing out loud in my car, cracking myself up, making myself laugh, enjoying my own company.
Yes. I said to, I don't know if I said it, if I wrote it, I don't remember. I said, you cannot expect someone to take you to a premium steak when you only giving yourself chicken.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You want somebody
to tweet that. Wow.
You know what I mean? Don't expect someone to give you premium steak, take you out, and you got to get all pretty on the outside in order for you to get a piece of a good steak, a prime ribs. You know what I mean? That's the only way you're going to get it. I'm just saying. You won't sit there and take yourself out on a date. Really? But you would rather come out of tomorrow. I am honored to have, and I'm shocked by this. It was a last minute decision. My daughter is going to be on tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? Girl, stop. She's going to be on tomorrow. And she have learned something while reading the book. And I said, you sure you want to do this? She said, Mom, I would love to do that. And it was, and the title was talking about relationships. And I'm always telling her, like, you got to be very, very careful when you are in relationships. Not just relationships. Are you in a relationship with yourself first? With yourself first. It's not about yourself first, right? How you can't sit there and expect somebody, anybody, to love on you more than you loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would love to have somebody pray for me, but I need to know how to pray for myself too, right? You know what I mean? I want to be able to say, damn, I look damn good. I don't need your validation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need, you know what I mean? You look so good in that outfit. And I mean, real clothes. I'm just saying, real clothes. Because you know it's getting hot outside and people don't even know I'm Jesus fix it. But you want to be able to just love on yourself first. You know, she made me a GG. Jesus fixed it. And so now I tell her all the time, those kids, you are the voice for them children. You speak on their behalf. You know what I mean? They are voiceless. You have to speak. You got to be their advocate. You got to put them first for every single thing. Even when you tired, you put them first. Even when you sick, you put them first. Even when you don't even know, you still put them first. So make sure that you know your worth within you so you could be able to put your best work out there. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. And how else are you going to show them and teach them that they're worthy, that they're beautiful? Yeah. If you don't believe it.
Yes, you have to. I had my grandson today, and people keep thinking this is my son. I know. No, this is my grandson. And so as I'm out with my grandson and I'm spending this time with him, and he called me for everything. And he's at the age where he has so much energy. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, okay. I need you to have patience right now. Sit down. Sit down. Work with Gigi here. And let's talk. So I'm having these talks with him now because he's at that level where he's picking up everything. Hold on, baby. Just slow down. You don't have to move fast. Just slow down and let's talk. Let's talk. And so now he's like, oh, okay. So he's starting to like slow it down a little bit so he could be able to get my time, but at the same time understand. Mm-hmm. You know, that's so much more. And so I want to be able to pour into my grandchildren something that my parents haven't poured into my children. You know what I mean? Somebody had to be able to break that cycle. I had to learn and accept the fact that my parents are broken. They are two broken people. Mm-hmm. They couldn't give me anything because they didn't have it. Right. They didn't know how to fix it. They didn't know how to start. They didn't know how to borrow it, buy it, or even take it. But I had to be able to say and accept the fact that they wasn't able to do that for whatever reason. Because I need to be able to know that for myself. It's something that took place in their upbringing that allowed them to be broken. And whatever happened in their adult life, they choose not to fix it, mend it, or blend it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I want to make sure that I could pour that into my children and now my grandchildren. And that first started with me forgiving both of my parents, and they both live it. I had to learn how to forgive both of my parents for every single thing. Mm-hmm. When I say the list was long, baby, Jesus fixed it. But I had to do it because it was for me. It's not for them. It is for me. You know what I mean? And so that's what's so important. And that's why I tell my grandchild, slow down so he can be able to give my time because I know that's what he wants. But let's have a conversation because I don't want to have him so busy where he forget the most important thing is, which is that time. Right. You know what I mean? Because I know that my children don't even have that with my parents. They don't have those memories like that. So now I have to create a whole nother generation of the seeds that I planted with my children so they could go back and water those seeds for their children. And that is so much to me. And that's also in the book as well. You got to be careful those seeds that you're planting. You have to be very careful. And forgiveness is huge, a big part of planting those seeds of forgiveness because somebody's going to hurt you. We can protect them as much as we want. but somebody's going to hurt them. But if we plant those right seeds, at least they know they could go back and water and learn the lesson for whatever they experience.
Exactly. And we have to also forgive ourselves for all the bad decisions that we've made that have us so fearful of making any decisions right now.
Oh my God, girl.
We have to forgive ourselves for all the negative thoughts or negative things that we're telling ourselves, that, we're not worthy, or we can't do this because this and that. You have to stop that too.
Come on.
You're just putting a stunt in your own growth. So when you're forgiving others, also remember that it's just as important, if not even more important, to forgive yourself. And it's not easy. Forgiveness is something that you must practice. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be hurt. It doesn't mean that situation or subject is not going to come up again where you're hurt by it again. It may do that. You may have to forgive again, whatever it is that you need to get to the place where you need to be so that you can move on to that life that you deserve to have for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely, girl. I'm done with you. Yes, a lot of practice until you become natural. Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. Every day you work on you. Every day work on you. Never skip a beat on working on you, because you need to remember, if you're not good, they're not good, right? You can't put something into somebody else if you're not on point, right? So always take I learned being a single mom is the hardest job there ever is, right? And so I put so much into my children, and it was like to the point where I was like, dang, I put myself on the back burner, but I didn't have that support like that. Honey, let me tell you, my kids, they understand now. It's my time.
Yes.
I've done so much. I have so much to offer so many other people. And even though now that they're friends, even friends are coming to me for something else that I'm thinking about doing. And I'm just like, wow, these young, it's kind of scary. They are so young, they're friends. And their parents didn't pour into them the way I poured into my children. Mm-hmm. And so they're coming back to me. Like 2 weeks ago, my living room was full of young adults. I'm giving them I'm pouring into these kids. And to this day, they contacted me and they telling me I'm doing this, I'm doing it. They keep me posted on it. And I said, wow, you never know. It's not only in your own home, but somebody is watching, somebody is listening, and they know that your children have something that they don't have, but they want to know, how did they get that? So they go to the source. Right. And that's the same thing with our adult life. If you want something bad enough and you want to know how to forgive, you'll go to someone who experienced it, so you could be able to learn how to forgive, right? So it's a part of just life. Don't keep it to yourself and let your pride and ego block your blessings.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. Don't let it block your blessing, because you are so worth so much more in your life. I mean, sometimes I don't understand the life that I'm living right now, but because I decided to do the work on myself, and because I decided to be able to make a decision that I do love me more, that I'm worth more, and that I got so much to offer, that I was willing to do the work on the next level in my life, here I am. You know what I mean? Here I am, and now it's my duty to be able to pay it forward, to be able to let other people know that it's so possible. It's so possible. It's so possible for you to be able to have an amazing relationship, have an amazing business. Don't have to work somebody else's job for the rest of your life. Honey, we're going on about that. But
you just have to decide.
You just have to decide. You have to make a decision. And when I made a decision to put a date on this book, to release this book, do you know, doors open like there was no tomorrow. And you know, all the other amazing things that I had already going on. But this is after making a decision with this book. I'm on radio now. I'm on Blog Talks now. I'm just like, what is going on? I'm being requested like there's no tomorrow. I'm speaking on stages like no tomorrow. But if you make a decision, people can't say, oh, I'm just waiting on God. He's waiting on you. Stop
Yes.
standing. You got to be able to do the work. In order for you to be able to move forward to the next dimension of your life, you got to be able to take a step. You got to take massive action. You got to stop questioning it. You just got to be able to trust that your faith is, and whatever he's going to give you, he's going to guide you to your destination. But if you continue on going down that path of, oh, that's not for me, that's not going to never happen, then that's what's going to happen. Nothing.
It's never going to happen.
You know what I mean? So go ahead and forgive whoever done did you wrong, whoever planted those crazy seeds in you, and do the work on yourself so you can be able to prove and live your best life possible. Because somebody's waiting for your message. Somebody is looking at you. Somebody wants you to move forward. But first, you got to be able to do you and believe in yourself.
Speechless.
Okay,
you got me speechless.
I'll be quiet.
I don't know what to say after that.
I won't be quiet. Sometimes it just shows up and I'll just be like, oh my. I just always ask God, give me whatever the words is, because I don't never know what the word's going to be. But whatever the words is for your children, because that's what we are. We are his children. He wants us to be able to say, this is a message. We don't know who it is. We don't have no name on it. But he gave me that message. I allowed him to fill me up so I could be able to go out and pour it out to you. And I'm going to go back to him and then say, you know what? I need to be refilled because he already knows this. So I could go back out and do his work again. So be willing to do his work, but let him work on you. So you can do your best work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You take one step towards him, he'll take 5 steps towards you. Come
on. That's what it's about.
You just gotta make the jump.
What it's about. Say it again.
And a lot of us, you have to make the jump. And a lot of us are waiting until, or we won't be ready until we hit that rock bottom, until we are actually broken. Then we're actually ready to do something when we're fed up and we're tired, but we waste so much time waiting until we get to that point, and time just go by so fast. Next thing you know, 10 years later, you're still in the same spot. You're still in the same situation and you did nothing different and you just wasted 10 years. I don't know about you, but I'm 34 years old and I feel like I started too late.
You know what?
I'm not wasting any more time.
You didn't start too late.
I realized I'm ready now. I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready now.
You know that at least some people, you didn't wait till you become you return from a job and you say, I think, no, I'll go to Walmart. Not trying to be funny, but there's so much that you could be able to offer if you just go ahead and say, you know what, I know I don't know it all, but I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to be coachable. I'm willing to learn, right? And so that right there alone is the best thing ever, because when I decided to be able to go into business for myself, I didn't know nothing. I didn't have a blueprint. I had no clue, but I was willing to do the work. And so I honestly believe that door of corporate America closed on me for a reason, so I could be able to walk into my purpose. I no longer ran from my purpose in life. And so with me going from unemployed to being a motivational speaker, to have a successful business at home, being a best-selling author, being on radio, being on Blog Talk, I'm telling you, God is so good. It's so, so good. So how do you go from having no income to having multiple streams of income? How is that possible? Because I got tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of banging on the doors of corporate America for me to feed my children. I got tired of not being able to make enough money when I was working that job. I got tired of just being tired of this is not what I want my children to have to go through. If I'm going through it, imagine what my children are going to go through. So I have to be bold enough, just like I was bold enough to be able to break a cycle. I had to be bold enough to stand out there and say, you know what, I'm willing to take the hits. I'm willing to get bumps and bruises and everything else along the way. But how did it happen? Even though I was laid off for 5 years now, it took 2 years and I still wasn't able to find employment. So here it is, 3 years later. How in 3 years, all of these amazing things done happened? But I was willing to do the work. I was willing to not go backwards and look forward and just let him do and guide me to where I need to be. He got things for me to do. I got huge things already in the works for next year. How is that possible? And I was barely making it when I was working somebody else's job. So if I was barely working for somebody else's job, imagine I was barely making when I got that unemployment check. And when that unemployment check left, then I didn't have nothing. So what did you do? I invested in myself when I was collecting those unemployment checks. Do the best you got with what you have and do your best at it. Don't half-ass it. Do your best.
That's right.
That's it. Just do your best.
And that employer... that employer, that job, that 9 to 5 that you going to that you hate so much, you have to start looking at that 9 to 5 as your investor. That's your investor.
Yes.
That's the person that's investing in your life and what your business that you're going to start,
Yes.
the life that you really want for yourself. That's your investor. Just, I don't even look at it as a 9 to 5 anymore. It's your investor and your dream and what you're trying to do for yourself. And you use it as such. And when you're not at your 9 to 5, you start planning on a life that you really want.
Come on.
For yourself. And I know a lot of times we hear people say invest in yourself, invest in yourself. That means time.
Yep.
That means money. And when you hear a coach or a mentor say invest in yourself, it's not because they want you to pay them for their program. It's because it's what it really takes. You're paying somebody that's going to help guide you and teach you so you won't make the same mistakes that they've made. So you're actually fast forwarding through those mistakes to get to where you're trying to get quicker and faster. And you also have to invest the time in yourself for you know,
come on.
Yes, self-development. Because I remember I would always sign up for these subscriptions and these webinars and try to get all this free information from all these different coaches and mentors and thinking that I was going to be able to change something in my life just based on that, because I thought I didn't have the money to actually make the investment. But the money was there the whole time. You will be surprised how you find the money, you know, to invest in something that's really important to you. If you're going to make the investment in anything, you need to make it into yourself, whether that's going to a seminar, whether that's buying books, whatever you need to do to make yourself a better you. And as far as fear, I know I'm jumping around, but as far as fear is concerned, just take one small step.
Yes.
One small step. And I promise you, you will surprise yourself. When you take that small step and you become surprised by what you've accomplished, it's going to give you the confidence to take the next step and then the next step. And then you're going to realize that the steps are getting bigger. And then your confidence is just going to shoot through the roof.
That is so true.
That is so true. Like me talking on this blab right now, you couldn't have told me like 9 months ago that I would be on anything live.
I remember
to anybody.
I remember this.
You remember that conversation?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
I would have never thought.
Mm-hmm. I think we did you did your first blab with me.
I did my first blab with you, and I did my virtual conference. And Vanessa was one of the women to speak on my virtual conference. And that was the first time I created anything to that magnitude. And I put in a lot of work. And I surprised myself.
Yeah,
like that was January of this year, and I remember when the year started, I was posting all over Instagram saying that I'm gonna live outside my comfort zone in 2016. And Lord knows, since I posted that post, I've been constantly month after month after month pushed out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
And that fear is just slowly going away. Confidence is just going through the roof. So if you just take small steps, I promise you that you'll surprise yourself. You just got to get started.
You do.
You just got to do it.
You do. One of the things that I say, and I said this last year when I was closing out for Periscope, and one of the things is leaving out of 2000. I don't know if you was on this scope. Leaving out of 2015 and going into 2016, doing a scope mastermind with Dr. Finch. And one of the topics is, what are you asking for in the new year? What are you expecting in the new year? And I said, I'm expecting God to make me uncomfortable. And people was like, what? Yeah. I want you to make me uncomfortable, because if you make me uncomfortable, I know I'm going to grow, because I'm trusting in you. I'm coming to you because you're the source. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to lean on you because I know you're going to take me to the next destination. So yes, make me uncomfortable because I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to put myself out there. And that's what has happened. And oh my God. And so when I said that it's going to be absolutely uncomfortable, you got to allow yourself to be uncomfortable so he could be able to make you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And so just by doing that, I said that it's going to be an epic new year. And Lord and behold, 2016 has been absolutely mind-boggling. You speak it into existence and you be willing to do the work. And he will trust and believe he'll be right there walking with you step by step, by step along the way. So you're not in it by yourself. And the last thing that I want to close out with is that I see this often. People say, well, why do I have to buy in order for me to be able to work? I said, buy in order for me to work. What the heck is that? I said, oh, let me just go ahead and break down. You are not somebody, basically, that's the enslavement mentality. Somebody basically done purchase you to work and just gonna pay you bare minimum to be an employee. Let's be clear. You will never be the CEO of that job. But if you invest in yourself, be willing to do the groundwork to get your butt in there, you're going to go ahead and turn around and make the money that you want to make, probably beyond what you thought you'd be able, living a better lifestyle and be able to pay that forward. So when you change your mindset, you could be able to grow. So yes, you want to, they say the mind is a terrible thing to waste. So stop thinking on the mind of that you have to be able to purchase something in order for you to grow. No, it's called invest. Because that's something that you can write off. So either you're going to continue to be a write-off or you're going to be written off. You got to pick one. That's a W-2 and a 1099. I'm just saying. So with that being said, I know we went a little bit over. Please leave us with something, Keshay, and also be able to let people know where they can be able to connect with you. I want people to know who you are and all the amazing things that you're doing. So I'm going to just turn over to you.
Okay. Well, what I want to leave you guys with is Forgive yourself first. You stop beating yourself up. Stop those negative thoughts that you continuously tell yourself over and over again. Just remember that the place that you're trying to get to, the reason why you're not there yet is because there's something that you need to learn that you haven't gotten yet that God is trying to teach you. So just take the time in a quiet place by yourself with a notebook and just write your thoughts down. Ask yourself some tough questions about where you are right now in your life and where you want to go. What's standing in your way right now of living a life that you want to live for yourself? And write it down and then just create a plan on getting to that destination of where you want to get. If you need to break it down in small steps, break it down in small steps. Every day, take one step closer to where you need to be to get to that life that you want to live. Again, my name is Keshay Blount. I'm a lifestyle coach for moms, and I basically help moms put themselves back on a priority list. I help them rediscover who they are. I help them create more time for themselves, and I just basically show them that they can still pursue their dreams and still be great moms. No need to put your life and your dreams on hold because you're a mom. My website is KeshayBlount.com. Instagram is Keshay Blount. Twitter is Keshay Blount all around. My Facebook group is Me First Mommy. If you're a mom, you can head over and join that group. It's a support group for moms. We share a lot there. Any questions you need to ask me, feel free on the Facebook group. My email is info@KeshayBlount.com. Questions, anything. If you just want to chat, reach out to me. And that's it.
Wow. Well, Keshay, I thank you. I thank you so much for taking the time out of your crazy schedule to be able to join in this amazing Black series. And I'm looking forward to the amazing things that you have going on in your life and the future that we're working together in the near future.
Yes, absolutely.
And so don't forget to put your information into the Breaking the Cycle Brokenness event page. Okay. You're very welcome. And then also, so let people know who you are, how they can be able to connect with you and all that good stuff. And so with that being said, it was an amazing Blab series. And it's so wonderful that you poured your whole into this, the topic of just forgiveness. Forgiveness is so powerful. And I want you guys to just make sure that you can always get the replay. We're going to post a replay probably tomorrow. But I want you guys to know that you are worth the work. But make sure that you love on you. Do the work within you. And don't allow somebody else to define you. So, my name is Vanessa Canteberry. I can be found at inspiredbyvanessa.com. Feel free to connect with me there. You can also email me at inspiredbyvanessa@gmail.com. I am also on social sites at Inspired by Vanessa, except Twitter because of the characters. It's Inspired Vanessa. So I look forward to connecting with you guys. We will be back tomorrow with another amazing Blab series. And so with that being said, I thank you so much, Keshay, and everyone else who joined us. And I look forward to empowering more people around the world and just let people know that you are not alone in your journey. And so with our mess of a message, it's something to be able to share with you. Just let you know that your pain is not in vain. So with that being said, ladies, good night, and we look forward to connecting with you all later on.
Good night, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.